Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to your another updation. And today's video, we're going to be talking about Hurricane Elsa. So, right now we are talking about this thing has become a hurricane since 8 a.m. this morning, and now we are seeing it being a very defiant storm now with a lot of rotation and a lot of organized since entering the Caribbean Sea. So before we actually get started on this video, I just want to say that we have new merch on the channel merch, so very cheap. So make sure you go catch you guys some. And another thing, make sure you check in with your local weather for you guys' safety and just for you guys' safety. But today we're gonna be talking about the storm right here. So first thing to start off with talking about it, we're going to be talking about the cone with the 11 o'clock updation of the cone. So with the 11 o'clock updation with the cone, we are seeing hurricane warnings and watches since then. So we have hurricane warnings for parts of the islands right here. Nothing for Puerto Rico, but that might become something in the future. Probably not. I don't think the storm be a little breezy for them. But Jamaica, we have hurricane warnings and then hurricane watches for it. Or I meant hurricane watches and then tropical storm warning. So, and then we have a hurricane warning for this island right here. I forgot what it's called. But as you guys can see, right after Jamaica, we're talking about it's going to turn to a tropical storm on 8 p.m. Sunday. So that's going to be, I think the closer the storm moves, we might see H. Now, it is a questionable because now your GFS is showing something that's actually begin to line up with the European just a tad bit. So we'll just have to see with that. So this is your guys' cone. Cone has shifted a little bit. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is the ensembles. Or before I actually take a look at the ensembles, we're going to take a look at the intensity guide of this. So Hurricane Elsa. You guys can see our pressure is right now at 995. It's moving northwest still, and right now we're seeing winds up to 65 kT. So right now. So if we go down to here to our intensity guide right here, you guys can see with it's saying it's going to be a hurricane, and then once we start to hit that hour 60, we're going to start seeing a downcrease, which we are not 100% sure. Now with the latest GFS, I'm beginning to agree that this storm might not be a strong hurricane coming into the Gulf of Mexico. If it keeps saying this, then we have something to watch out because this is something that we could be keeping an eye on because it might not be strong. We just don't know yet because the GFS and Uranium are still not agreeing for some reason, which is a little concerning for this time with landfall being out in the next 4 days. So here you go, guys. This is your GFS ensembles. The ensembles are pretty much where the model run is ran 50 times. I think the GFS has ran 50 times at least, but I'm not sure about the European. I think the Europeans ran 22 times. The CMCs ran 35, something like that. So you guys see our 50 times. We have a dramatic change with the GFS with the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico side. Not too many saying Gulf of Mexico. I meant the Atlantic side, and then a lot saying Atlantic side. So that's a big dramatic change because yesterday most of them were showing half and half. Like some were still showing a jumble of which is split. Some would say Atlantic. Some would say Gulf of Mexico. So with the GFS ensembles, this is beginning to point more, and now it's saying it's going to be a lot weaker storm. So this is something we do have to pay attention to because something that is going to be a little concerning because the GFS is showing a weaker storm than this morning's run around 6 a.m. So I'll get to that right now. So if we go to our let's see. We'll go to actually this. Let me look for it. Alright, so we'll go to Western Atlantic. And we'll go to this real fast. Alright, so if we look right here. This one I like to look at sometimes. But as you guys can see that the GFS is going to be the only thing wrong with the GFS I'm a little concerned about is because it's going to be a lot weaker. It's not more of a concerning thing. It's more of look at the GFS. So if you guys go into, we're talking about only 1,000, and it doesn't even drop below. So we look at last run. So we go down to the last run. The reason why I'm saying that this right here is a problem is because this was this morning's run, 990. Now's run. This morning's run, around 6 a.m. This is 12 p.m. Updates. A lot weaker. So A is either to begin the trend onto the European, it's going to agree with the European, or B, it's going to stick with its own self. But in my opinion, I think this storm is not going to be a hyped up hurricane. I feel like people are more hyping it up than what it to be. I feel like. So if you look real fast, here we go. So this right here is going to be around July 5th. As you guys see, last run, this run. A little bit smaller, but if we go into our, let's go to this one right here. As you guys see, last runs, and then Gulf of Mexico, 983. This is now's run, 1007. So that is a little bit concerning because with it just tremendous dropping like that with a tropical storm now, that's something that's a little, over, and landfalls are different now. This one had a good hurricane, maybe even a Cat 2 at that point. But yeah, a Category 2 we're talking about, that's off the Tampa Bay area. Now it's saying 1,000. This one is I can't really see it because alright, let's see, 1,004. So 1,005, that's a big dramatic drop down to compared to this morning's run. So the GFS is going to be agreeing with the European, or the GFS is going to be a little bit weaker. The European has it more of dissipating right in this area and getting carried into the Atlantic and getting hit by a front and carried off with a front. So that's just something that we have to keep in mind with. More of me is leaning towards the European. I think the GFS or European is going to meet up with each other. So we're going to look at the European real fast. And as you guys see, this is what I'm talking about. The European is saying the storm is right here, right there. We play it, then it's right here, and right here. Front right here, gets carried by the front, off it goes. So, this is A or B. A plan is the GFS is right, and it could be a strong storm, it could be a weak storm on the GFS, or the Europeans right. So this is something we do have to keep in mind because I'm leaning towards more of the European. I know people don't want to hear that because they're always saying the European is wrong. Yes, the European was not too good last year, but not only is good for catching on to storms like this, and it makes more sense if you look back into history. The only time that a storm has made it over these islands, if we get our marker fast, the only time a storm has made it over these islands was back in 1933. And I forgot the storm's name, but it only made it across these islands. That's the only storm that's made it in the first week of July. So that's something you gotta keep in mind. You gotta keep in mind history. So I'm going with the European. I have money on the European that it's more of a right than anything else. So if we go down here to look at the down here, you guys can see where our storm is right now. It's beginning to get into that strongness right here, but I think this storm is going to have more of a struggle. Once it gets hit by those mountains right there, I feel like once it gets hit by these mountains on the Jamaica side, and not to speak, we actually have our the hurricane hunters went out this morning and said that we're seeing more of a storm now that's going to be forming, and now it's going to be a hurricane. So that's something that we have to keep in mind. But I think once it gets past Jamaica, it's going to either dissipate or something like that. Now, I do want to take a look, actually, before we actually end up going on to talking about anything else. Just real fast. We're going to look at the CMC real fast to see what the CMC is saying, because the CMC is actually new. It's a newer forecast model, with the 12 o'clock update. So we go to regions, and we'll go to West Atlantic. So now the CMC is saying a different, it's still kind of updating, but it might be able to catch it a little bit more. Now, the thing is that is interesting with the CMC is that it shows a little bit dissipating like the European. Not strong, so this is something I think we're going to be seeing. Now, this is where the CMC is meeting up on the GFS and the European. The CMC is kind of in the middle of both of these. The CMC does not know what side to pick right now. It's kind of like, no, I want to go with the European, but it's still sticking with the GFS in some type of way, but it's on the Atlantic side. Shows it maybe making its way in the Carolinas, still sticking the same as this morning's run, but the CMC is kind of stuck in the middle. And if you look, yesterday's run, if we go back to a few runs, you can see this run has been moving over slowly. So you guys can see that it's inching over this way. Now that was you guys can see that we're seeing that the CMC is inching over into the Atlantic side each run by run. And look at this. So this is if you look, this is the 12Z, 0Z, and 12Z. So right now, so 0Z this morning, 12Z, 0Z. So that's something we have to keep in mind because the CMC is trending towards the European a little bit now instead of the GFS because it was stuck in the middle now, but now it's inching each run. It's inching towards the Atlantic. So I think the CMC is agreeing with the European a little bit more, which that's why I have another reason why I have a good feeling that the European is right because the European is normally right for this time of year. It sounds right. You have to add history back up and count that into your data model and stuff like that. So you guys can see that the strongest wind shear we have is right northwest of St. Jane. The storm is currently have a little bit of wind shear down here, but not too much. Nothing to hurt it really. But I think that's going to be a wrap of the video today, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. And don't forget about our new merch that's dropped. Very cheap merch on sale right now. Our classic 2021 hurricane season limited tank tops, shirts for women's, men's, and soon kid merch dropping soon. Leave a comment down below if you guys got any merch ideas, anything you want to see. I know this ain't the best. Right here is something I just put together real fast, or not real fast, but tried to put together a little bit. So here's the link, and link will be down below, and the websites I used in this video will be, I'll try to remember to put the link down below. And no videos for tomorrow and Sunday and maybe Monday, so if you guys don't see no videos, that's the reason why. Until next time.